Okay.
Hi Gary, how are you?
Gary, how are you?
I got you what you wanted. Okay. I got you 3 letters here from 3 prosecutors. You want to take a look at that? Saying they won't seek the death penalty. That's, this one is Lincoln County. This one is Wesley Bell from St. Louis County. And then this is Tim Lomar from St. Charles County.
Also, my boss has called the director of Department of Corrections, and also we talked to the warden here. No matter what happens, you will not be out of here. You will not lose any privileges, your iPhone, nothing.
iPad. Yeah.
iPad.
Yeah.
Everything will remain the same.
Okay.
Because last time we talked to you, I think that was one of your biggest concerns, was the, because you were pretty much setting your ways here, and then the death penalty. So we've answered both those situations, and we would like to talk to you further in reference to the cases we're working.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Because I can, since we talked to you last time, some more evidence came back with DNA on it. The shirt, the T-shirt, 2 pieces of the T-shirt came back with your DNA too. The T-shirt that was wrapped around her head. Okay. Yeah. So, obviously you can have copies of these if you would like them.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me grab a pen. So we have to go through this again. What time is it? 9:40.
Yes.
So am I leaving here today?
No, sir.
Nope.
No, sir.
I'm not going to change anything right now. All right, Gary, I'm just going to read these to you. If you understand, just initial right there for me, okay? Before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You do not have to make a statement or answer any questions. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to talk to a lawyer for advice before you are asked any questions, and to have a lawyer present with you during questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, and if you so desire, one will be appointed for you before any questioning. If you decide to answer questions and or make a statement now, you have the right to stop answering questions or remain silent at any time. Okay.
Does that change if I request an attorney?
We just can't talk to you right now. And if you do, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I talked to all 3 of them and said, please. I know they wanted to go all the way. I asked them to please not do that and let us give Gary a chance to do this. So I can't tell you if we don't get cooperation what they're going to do. I don't know that.
I mean, I'm old enough in my health-wise, even with death penalty, I'd never I would pass away before I got there.
That's correct.
That is correct.
Because I don't know if you know aware of my health.
Yes, actually, you told us basically what your health was.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, heart condition, and you
Yeah,
said
with
you
the
had.
heart and the cancer and all that other
Cancer.
stuff, yeah.
Okay. Are you good with the cancer now? I mean, or is it?
Yeah, they removed my prostate, and there could be some complications, but the heart slowed down a whole bunch,
Okay.
you know.
Okay. You seem tired.
Yeah, fatigue.
Yeah.
My heart rate stays around 140 to 64 or something like that, and they say it's low.
Okay.
It is kind of low. Well, it is
Yeah.
low. It is low.
Yeah. Okay, so now what?
So I'd like to start with Robin. I have a picture of Robin.
I don't recognize the name, of course. It's 30 some odd years ago.
So Robin was the young lady that was in between the two mattresses.
You know what?
In between two mattresses.
Okay.
Can you tell me
She
how?
don't-
Tell me how you met her.
Man, I've been thinking about that. It's like, I don't know, I can't recall the circumstances I met her, but I guess if my DNA and all that stuff ties me to it, I'm good for it. But I don't remember a lot of the details.
Can you tell us some of the details that you remember?
Hmm?
Can you tell me some of the details you remember?
How did she die?
Well, she had maybe like blunt force trauma to the head and strangulation.
And what?
Strangulation.
Okay.
Do you recall the mattresses?
Yeah. So apparently it happened in my house up in Bell Ridge.
Okay.
It's painful as hell.
I know.
Do you recall where the mattresses came from, Gary?
Undoubtedly my house.
Were they something that you were using in your house? Do you
Yeah.
recall?
Yeah.
How long, if you don't remember how you met her, do you remember bringing her back to your house?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't remember the exact. I don't know if I met her in a bar or on the street, picked her up. Because didn't you say she was like a prostitute?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Sex for hire. And I can't recall the name Robin. I know from myself and other people, a lot of the girls that worked the street had street names,
Sure.
you know.
Sure.
Does she look familiar, though? I know it's been a long time ago.
Yeah, you said this was back in what, 90?
Yeah.
That's 32 years ago.
So, but you do remember having her at your house?
She vaguely, I mean, she's an attractive looking young lady. Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember how long she was there at your house?
No, ma'am, I sure don't.
Okay.
I sure don't.
So what do you remember about the mattresses and?
I don't. Yeah.
How would you have kept the mattresses together? You recall that? I mean, she was in between two mattresses.
Okay.
How would you have kept those together?
String or rope or something?
And how would you secure it, though? Do you remember how you secured it?
Not really. They were secured together, though? I mean, a rope around them, or?
They were secured, but I was hoping that you could tell us how they were secured.
just tied together. I wish I could recall what was going through my mind to do something like this.
Do you remember doing it?
Vaguely, I mean, I'm thinking I had sex with her
Okay.
and paying her.
I'm sorry.
Now, go ahead.
Back in the day, is there any reason that you would be upset with him afterwards? That would,
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know what would prompt me offhand to kill somebody like that. Well, I wish I could. It might help clear my conscience.
So you've been thinking about these since we left last time?
What do you think?
Non-stop, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
you pretty much were convinced we were coming back, right?
Hmm?
You were pretty much convinced we were coming back, right?
Oh, yeah. Just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
5 weeks today.
Is it?
Yeah. Your memory's better than mine.
Yeah. Good memory.
On some things. Like, when you get old, some things fade away.
Sure. Now, do you remember where you disposed of her body?
Hmm?
Do you remember where you disposed of her body?
I'm thinking last time I heard something about along a highway out in St. Charles County or Troy or something.
Okay.
Do you remember how you got there?
I didn't walk.
Did you have a truck
What
back
kind
then?
of vehicle was it?
A late 80s Ford conversion van. It was factory custom. Had the captain seats and all that good stuff in it.
Mm. Do you remember?
Bits and pieces I remember, but not totally.
Well, tell us what you do
Yeah.
remember.
That's about, I don't remember exactly where I picked her up at. I'm assuming it was on the streets of South St. Louis. Going back to my house. Maybe in time I can remember more details, but right now it's foggy at the best.
Did you own a truck back then?
I know at one time when I was arrested for what I'm here on, I had a 4-wheel drive pickup truck. But that would have been like, oh hell. 91, 92.
Was there anything unique about that truck that you recall?
It's just a 4-wheel drive. I'm not even sure of the make. Might have been a GMC or a Chevy. But
What color?
brown. Rusty brown. Yeah.
Would there have been any accessories you put on there? Anything in the back, or do you remember anything?
Let's see. No, 'cause it wasn't really that kind of vehicle to customize. It had big tires on it. They were on there when I bought it. I can't even think of the guy's name that I bought it from. I think he hung out at the little diner in Overland too. And then went to find out when I was arrested in Illinois driving it. And then I found out after I was arrested it had been stolen. So I bought a stolen vehicle, but I wasn't aware of it.
Okay.
I just don't think I would have bought it and been driving it all over the place.
So what kind of vehicle did you have before that one?
Let's see. I had like 3 or 4 different cars at one time. I had the van, the pickup truck, an older Thunderbird. I think I had a Cavalier. Yeah, when I worked at the Shriners, I had a Cavalier.
Do you ever have a vehicle with a camper on the back?
No.
Do you know of anybody that had a vehicle with a camper on the back? That you
And a
might have
camper
been
shell?
running? Camper shell that you might have been running with?
I probably did know a couple people, but not specifics.
So you said it was either St. Charles or Troy. Why that area? Why did you pick her to leave her there?
I don't know. I really don't.
Do you remember doing that?
Yeah, somewhat.
What do you remember about that?
Just driving out the highway and
Remember what direction you were going?
hmm?
What direction you were going?
Northwest.
Okay. What else do you remember?
Yeah.
Did anybody see you? That you know
Not
of?
that I recall. I mean, I don't remember stopping or anything when I left my house.
Was anybody with you?
No. No, I by myself. Are there others tied into this?
Yes.
Other,
You mean other, people?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were hoping,
Yeah, I don't think anybody was with me when this happened.
are you sure?
Not 100%.
Right. Do you know anybody by the name of Danny?
Who?
Danny Finetti?
Danny Finetti. Boy, that don't ring any bells. Who is he?
He's just another name that came up throughout the years. We thought maybe he was an acquaintance of yours. Once we got your DNA, we've been doing some back checking on a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
And his name came up because he used to run to the diner. We don't know if he went to the diner or not. We're kind of hoping you could maybe fill in some of the blanks on that. Because that's not a real, Danny Finetti is not a real common name.
No, Danny would be, but not the last name. Yeah.
Did you know any Dannys?
Over years, I probably have, but I can't place them right now. I mean, I know some Dannys in here, but
Anybody that you might have run with when you picked up some prostitutes?
no. I believe I was always by myself.
so when you had Robin at your house, do you have any idea how long she was there? Are we talking long period of time or?
No, it wouldn't have been over a day or two.
Okay.
So by the time you picked her up, you had her about a day or two, and then
If that long.
you disposed of her.
Hmm?
And then you disposed of her somewhere in St. Charles?
I know it was west of my house, northwest.
Coming out 70?
Huh?
Coming out Highway 70?
Yeah.
You remember how far you got into St. Charles? Did you get off you go from St. Charles, St. Peter's, O'Fallon, then Wentzville, and then make a right to go up in Lincoln County and Troy area? Do you recall if it was, you drove that far
Was
that day?
Highway 79?
There is a Highway 79.
Yeah. Could I travel that occasionally going up to Iowa to visit family?
Is that the only highway you took up to Iowa?
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause it's mainly a straight shot.
Okay. There's other
I'm
highways.
not positive. I'm thinking it was 79. There's a kind of a cloverleaf, semi-cloverleaf interchange at, or was that 64? Did 79 go straight up to Iowa, or did it go up into
Hannibal.
Hannibal and Louisiana?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that was 79.
That's 79.
Okay, I took 64 then going into Iowa.
That's
61 or 64, it's the same thing.
Hmm?
61 or 64.
Something
Some
like
people
that.
call it 64, some people call it 61. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
at one time I know Lindbergh and Gravois had state highway numbers and stuff, but I
Yeah.
don't remember what they were.
So you think you took 64 up north?
Yeah.
Do you remember how far you went up on 64?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay.
Can
I
I
just
get a
didn't
go-
know.
Can I get a glass of water or something? I'm
Sure.
getting dry mouth.
Sure.
Dentures when I first put them in.
Yeah.
And this.
Sure. Sure. Well, I didn't know if you, because you traveled up to Iowa, if you were very familiar with that highway.
Yeah, I got a sister and her family live up in Atkins, Iowa now.
Okay. So you went up there quite a bit back in the day?
Oh, 2 or 3 times a year probably.
Okay. So do you recall how long you might have been on the highway?
No.
Was it before or after Troy?
I sure don't remember that. I know it was, I think, a gravel country road that I turned on.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't no main artery or nothing.
They're gonna bring you some water.
Do you remember what side off the highway? I know.
The west side, maybe?
Okay. How far did you go down?
Not that
Thank you
far.
very much.
Oh, bottled water, dang.
Nothing but the best.
That's a good old saying down here.
Is there really?
So
Yeah, you're in the finest, you're in Potosi, nothing but the best that the DOC has to offer.
I never heard that.
Well, it's, I mean, I've been down here since beginning of 96. And from what I hear tell is the better of the camps as far as air conditioned, size-wise, things of that nature.
What, did I miss anything?
yeah, we were talking. He said he went west off the highway, but you think it was as soon as you got off the highway? How far do you think you went?
Oh, man, I could guess, but I'm not sure. It'd just be guessing.
Okay. But you said it wasn't far, right? Okay.
I mean, probably under 8 or 9 miles, 10 miles.
Okay. Do you remember what side of the highway that you left the mattresses?
Yeah, would have been on the west side of 64, 61.
Okay. And then what side of the highway? You said you turned like on you thought maybe it was a gravel road?
Yeah.
Do you remember what side of the highway or the gravel road it was on? You left the mattresses?
No. I don't know if I left the mattresses as soon as I can't recall right now if it was on the west side. I had to go up the highway and come back down the other side. You know, headed north on 64 and turn around somewhere. I'm thinking that was all divided highway then, or not.
I think it was.
I know back then some of 64 going up to Iowa was divided. Some of it wasn't. I think now it all is, but yeah.
Do you remember, and I know it's going way back, do you remember what kind of weather it was? Rain,
I know it
sunny,
was night.
Wintertime, nighttime? You say it was nighttime.
Yeah. Less traffic out.
Right.
Yeah.
Or what time of the year it was?
Man, I sure don't. I sure don't. I mean, I know I'm not being real helpful right now. It's been so long ago.
Trust me, you're doing real well. Because we know
Not,
a lot of this
not
stuff.
inside of me.
Well, I understand that. That's,
And this probably, I don't want to seem morbid or bizarre. Or, it's kind of like I got a load off my shoulders.
Good.
you know, we talked about that on the way home. It's like, you know, after we talked to you last time.
I do have a conscience.
I'm glad.
Obviously.
I'm
Or
glad.
we wouldn't be where we're at right now. Obviously you do. That's why we want to clear these up. That's why we got 3 different letters from 3 different prosecutors.
That's 3, man. The one last time we just talked about maybe 2.
I think we actually did talk about 2. No, we did talk about.
We said there were 3, but I don't think we got into detail
Yeah,
on
we
the
never
third.
got into the details of
On the
that.
third, yeah.
Um,
But I mean, you said you have a conscience. You know, whatever we can get cleared up in one big, you know, package would be better. Rather than everybody coming down here to talk to you and disrupting your life down here.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most intelligent thing to do in my life. But it'd be stupid with all the evidence that you say you got it. I'm sure you got what you're saying you have to deny it. And putting what family I got left and myself and the victim's family through 2 or 3 years of trial, motions, hearings. Yeah.
Right. So that's why we're trying to get as much information this go around, and we can put this to rest.
Yeah.
So you said the mattresses came from your house. Okay. Do you recall what happened with her after she was at your house? You said you had sex with her, and can you recall what happened after that?
No. I mean, right now, maybe when I'm laying in my bunk thinking about it, bits and pieces might come back, but right now it's like.
Did something anger you? Did something anger you that she did, or?
Not that I recall. I mean, some had to pop somewhere to 3 different girls, you say.
was there, you know, I've studied a lot of these cases, and as she has there's sometimes after the sexual act, people don't pay, and that's when an argument starts. Had you ever, do you remember anything like that where you may have paid and then took the money back, or just didn't pay and
No, because I'm sure they were paid before they got in the van to go up to my house. Like I said, I can't remember what prompted me to do this.
Do you remember doing it?
Bits of it I do, but not.
Okay, what do you remember doing?
I don't actually remember taking her life.
Do you remember after what happened after that happened?
I remember taking the mattresses out of the house and putting them in the van
Okay.
and then driving out to wherever I left them.
Do you remember putting her in the mattresses?
Not totally.
Do you remember what she was wrapped in between the mattresses?
What she was wrapped in?
Mm-hmm. Was there any clothing, anything like that?
Yeah, I sure don't. I don't. I wish I could give more details to help out, but because it can't hurt me anymore.
Mm-mm. Let me show you another picture.
And like she said, we don't want a whole bunch of people coming down and talking to you. Just.
Does she look familiar?
She almost looks like a girl I dated from a little diner. Pam, I can't even think of her last name now.
Well, this is Sandra Little.
Hmm?
This is Sandra Little. It says Sharon. I don't know if the booking officer got that wrong or what, but
Yeah.
it's Sandra Little. And she was found in O'Fallon. And I think we talked about that a little bit last time. About the box.
I remember talking about me being a carpenter at one point.
Mm-hmm. What do you remember about her?
Hmm?
What do you remember about her?
Not much at all. What kind of box?
It was like plywood. It was a box that was built. So when you lived at the house on East Edgar, did you keep any of these girls for a period of time?
Not more than a day or two.
Okay. Do you recall other ones?
No, I sure don't. Well, I wish you could hypnotize me, help me remember some of this stuff to get it off.
Yeah. This and again, this is the O'Fallon case, and they worked it back in the, and I worked this one. This is the one I worked back in the day. Actually, I worked all three of them. This is the one that I worked back in the day as well. And again, she's a prostitute.
Okay.
Um,
From where? St. Louis?
Around the Cherokee Street area.
Where?
Cherokee Street area.
South St. Louis.
Right, right. Now, we don't know if there's more than three. All we know is that there's, at least we got three of them connected
Mm-hmm.
through, you know, all the lab work and everything we're doing. So, and this is one of them that's connected. So, basically, we believe this is another one that you might have done.
Oh, she sure don't look familiar.
Now, this is, I don't know the date on this photograph or how early it is before she was taken. Do you recall?
Well, the date on here says 5/4 of '89, and she was 1990 is when she.
So
Missing.
that could be an old picture.
89?
Less than a year.
Less than a year.
What was this one, 89 too?
I don't know. I'd have to look at it.
This is the name. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it looks like an '89. So the box that Sandra was in is similar to a box that Doc was in.
Well, I sure don't remember making a box.
Did you have any old dressers sitting around that?
I mean, I had furniture.
Do you ever remember removing the bottoms of the drawers that she might have fit in, and then the box built around her?
Oh, I was thinking when you said a box, something that was put together from scratch. But furniture?
And if this box may not have been built by you, it may have been a box that you, I don't know, you had from a work site or something like that you might have stored other things in.
Mm-hmm.
But she originally was put into a dresser, small dresser drawer.
Yeah, it really don't look that familiar, but definitely is a box, but I can't tell. I mean, maybe it'll come back to me in time.
Yeah, we're like he said, we're just trying to avoid.
Hmm?
We're just trying to avoid a bunch of people coming down here, you know.
Yeah.
Getting you
So.
confused and everything.
Right. And obviously, when we leave here, the prosecutors are going to ask us.
Hmm?
I said, obviously, when we leave here, the prosecutors are going to ask us how it went. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Hopefully they're satisfied for me, with me confessing. But
Let me ask you this. And I think you're being honest with us. Let me ask you this, and I want you to really think about this. Were there more than one prostitute that you might have killed? Now think about it, because I would know. As old as I am, I would remember if there was more than one.
yeah, I mean, from what you're telling me, it does touch on recall a little bit. Like I said, 30 some odd years ago.
I'm not really talking about details right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the fact that was there more than one prostitute that you were involved in taking their life?
Taking their life?
I mean, this is kind of a important question for you.
Yeah.
That's why we got all three prosecutors wanting to do this all at once. Have you killed more than one prostitute?
These two, for sure. I mean, there's bits and pieces that I remember, but not all the details.
And I understand that. I
Yeah.
understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Don't patronize me, okay?
I'm not patronizing you. Well, how do you think I'm patronizing you?
I don't know.
I mean,
It's
explain,
just,
because I don't really understand what patronizing. Honestly, I don't. People say that, and I'm like, what have I said to patronize you?
probably nothing. It's just, it's impossible for me to know what's going through your mind, and vice versa. I mean,
All right.
there's things going through my mind right now that
What's-
is clarifying some of this, but it's also foggy. You know, it's still,
Well, I get it. I mean, we came here after 30 some years to talk to you. But I thought maybe since we were here last time, some of the stuff like you said, you've been thinking a lot about it.
yeah.
And I thought maybe recalled
I mean,
some of the stuff.
I'm almost sure I've been with more than two young ladies like this, but God, I hope I didn't kill them all.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. Let's put it this way. At this point, we don't know of any other ones other than these
No.
three.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean there's.
And like I said earlier, I don't know what prompted me to take their lives. Because I dated some pretty nice young ladies. Why I would go out and do something like this.
Well,
I mean, it was venting frustration, hostilities, anger.
you were obviously a different person then.
Apparently in more than one way.
Right. Because you say you have a conscience now.
I've always had a conscience.
Okay.
Maybe not all the time totally in charge of it.
Did something make you
I wish
lose control?
I really do wish I knew what prompted me to do this, because it was a bunch of mixed emotions: embarrassment, ashamed of myself. What tripped the scale to cause this to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I myself may never know. You know, admitting something to other people is relatively easier than accepting the responsibility to oneself. I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean,
Absolutely, it does.
I've done things I'm damn proud of.
Oh, she had.
Just ain't one, none of them.
I know it's hard to do, but now's the time to get it out. I mean, like you said, you don't know how much time you have left. When the right thing to do is to get it all out and get it off your conscience, and knowing that you did what you could while you were on this earth. You know?
Right now I feel like I've done a lot just talking to y'all, and I guess confessing to these, maybe. Go
We
ahead.
just wanted a little bit more detail into what was going, what
I
happened.
can understand it. You all want as much detail to make sure you got the right guy.
No, we got all the evidence as you. And I showed you the lab reports when we were here before.
But you're saying some other name, Danny, somebody that
That's just a name that had come up throughout the 30 years.
Okay.
We don't have his DNA. We have yours. So we thought maybe because some of the stuff, looked like it linked to Danny. So we thought maybe you were friends with him or knew him at some point.
Boy, that name.
But his DNA didn't come back to anything, and then it hit to you, and then every piece of evidence has come back with your
points to
DNA.
me,
Yeah. So we already know we're talking to the right person. We're just hoping we can get a little bit more detail as far as how it happened, why it happened.
Yeah, I wish you could get that information because I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
To know, like I said, I come from good family, good people. I've always tried to do maybe not the right thing, but the proper thing. I just, because these dates are similar to each other within months of each other. A couple months here.
And then again, all these happened in 1990. So these booking photos were just the year
Wait a minute,
prior.
They happened in 1990. How come there's 89 dates on it?
Well, these are when they were arrested
Oh,
in 1989.
oh, okay.
And then the actual incident, the murders happened in 1990. So a year after these pictures.
Those are the
Yeah.
those are the mug shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that clarified that. What time of year did you find them?
She was March, and she went missing in fall of 1990, but she wasn't found until February 91. So that's why I asked you how long you might have kept her.
Yeah, she wouldn't have been at my house that long. Because I had custody of my kids on a couple of weekends a month.
Can you remember where you would have taken her?
Hmm?
Do you remember where you took her?
Did you own any property or garages or somebody else's house or
No, I didn't.
in the woods or?
No. I didn't own any property.
Because from the time she was taken until the time they found her was a pretty good amount of time. And she
Sound like, 3 or 4 months? But
she was she was really decomposed when we found her. So we're just trying to figure out the location where she might have been, because the first one you said you didn't shoot for maybe a day, if that much, or a couple days. And this one here, and it was dropped off on the day it was found. It wasn't like somebody walking down the woods and find it. It was on a particular area where you couldn't hardly not see it. And then somebody stopped and picked it up.
like they were intentionally left
Yes,
to be found?
yes.
Yeah, I don't. I'm thinking it was along the highway. Probably, man, 70.
Okay.
But I can't place how far O'Fallon was out of St. Louis. I know it was west of St. Louis, but
Do you remember what was around there?
I mean like
Buildings.
restaurants,
Yeah.
shopping centers.
Sure.
I don't think it was isolated.
Do you remember which vehicle you used that time?
Probably the van. Because I don't think I had the pickup truck in the early 90s. I think I got that. In like late 91, early 91. Might have been, I mean, I can't remember when I exactly got that.
Do you think it would have been at nighttime?
Hmm?
You think it would have been at nighttime or daytime or?
No, nighttime, early morning, when there's not a lot of traffic out on a highway.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always traffic on a highway.
Do you remember getting that box out? I mean, you're a big guy, so I would imagine it wouldn't be too hard for you.
I'm thinking it might have been. It's not a box I made.
Okay.
It had to be existing something like a shipping crate, a piece of furniture.
Would that have been something you might have had in your basement?
Yeah, it could have been.
Remember what might have been shipped in it? You say, because you had a lot of furniture.
No, just furniture in a house, like bedroom sets,
Oh, okay.
living room sets, kitchen sets, stuff like that. But I don't think it's something that was just laying around. If it had drawers, like a dresser.
Well, this box was actually around. The dresser was inside the box.
Mm-hmm.
The dresser, do you have a picture of the dresser, or possible?
And you have to realize that that dresser, she was in that dresser for a long period of time, so the dresser doesn't look probably exactly like you were.
Yeah, it looks like dresser front of drawers or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or drawer fronts. And this whole thing was inside a box?
Was inside this.
Yeah, it looks like a dresser.
Anything come back to you looking at that?
Just looked like it's wrapped in some kind of paper or cloth or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you said you remember bits and pieces about her and about this incident?
I mean, that vaguely looks like a piece of furniture, but don't look like it's in real good shape.
Sure, like I said,
Yeah.
she was in there for a while, so it's not in really good shape.
She looked familiar, but I know it's not Pam. Had some facial features similar to hair and stuff. It's unfortunate and sad. It's just somebody that I picked up on the streets or in a restaurant or something down in South St. Louis.
Mm-hmm. Is this your dresser, or would you have gotten it from somewhere else?
Looks like something I had in the bedroom.
Was it part of a set? Like the...
Yeah. I bought a bedroom set when I was in undergrad school back in mid to late 70s up in Fayette, Missouri. It's hard to tell because there's not a lot of detail on it.
Sure.
Would that have been in the same bedroom as the mattresses would have been?
Yeah, because the house only had a one-bedroom house.
Oh.
It was a small house,
Okay.
like under 900 square feet.
Did you keep the rest of that bedroom set? In that house?
No. I think some of the bedroom set the ex-wife got in a divorce. Like it had a king-size headboard and a big dresser and a smaller, not much bigger than this.
So she would have taken that bedroom set, or the one that this belonged to?
I know she got the king-size headboard.
Okay. And which ex-wife would that be?
Which
ex-wife would that be?
Which one?
Mm-hmm.
The second one. I only had 2 wives.
Okay. So Karen?
Yeah.
Somebody took the time to take the bottom of the drawers out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you got the face, but somebody took the time to take the bottom of the drawers out and then inserted her in there.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar?
That would just be, they took all this white stuff
Yeah,
off.
the guts out of
Mhm.
it, yeah.
And then this would be the top of the dresser.
Yeah, that definitely looked like a dresser in a box, but I don't remember that box. I'm not saying I didn't make it, but I don't remember making it.
Do you remember taking the bottoms of those drawers out?
Apparently to make room to put her in.
Do you remember that, or are you just saying?
Somewhat, yeah,
You remember doing that?
yeah.
Do you remember where you kept her?
Hmm?
Do you remember where you kept her?
No, I sure don't.
Because Doc was kept for a while in the basement. Not a whole lot. Could you have kept her in the basement and then just decided now it's time to get rid of her?
That's possible. How did she die?
That's what I was hoping you would tell us. Because she was nothing, not much left of her.
Oh, I sure don't remember. It's something I guess I blocked out.
Do you remember bringing her to the house?
I don't know if I brought her. I'm not real positive I brought either one, or they came up there like with an escort service or something. I'm thinking I picked them up somewhere in South St. Louis.
Because wouldn't an escort service come back and check on them after a period? Wouldn't an escort service come back and check on them after a period of time?
You would think.
I mean, they wouldn't just drop them off and, from South St. Louis and have them,
Yeah.
walk back.
I don't think they'd walk back.
So somebody,
No,
you think you picked them up off of?
I know
So-
I've had a few dates through an escort service. But I think these I picked up, I met on the streets or something, or in like a White Castle or Steak and Shake or some kind of restaurant.
So the ones you picked up at the escort service, did they come to your house or did you pick them up from the...
No, they came to the house.
Okay.
Did you ever frequent any hotels around South St. Louis if you would pick somebody up off the street and take them to a hotel or anything like that? Or would you more than likely bring them back to your house?
More than likely bring her back to the house.
Okay. When you lived on California, did you ever bring anybody to the house you lived in on California?
I was married then.
So there would be nobody. Okay.
And you lived on Humphreys too, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Would you ever bring anybody to Humphreys?
No, Karen and I were still married on house because we got married and we moved into an apartment building on Keokuk in California. And then we moved to Humphreys, which was just a block or two south of Tower Grove Park. And then we moved closer to her family on Arsenal. And then we bought the house up in Bell Ridge.
Oh, so did she live at the house on Bell Ridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the reason you got divorced? If you don't mind me asking.
We weren't we knew each other like less than a month when we got married.
Okay.
So we really didn't know her that well, and she didn't know me for any length of time.
Was that hard on you, the divorce?
Yeah, with kids. But it was what they call a no-fault divorce. With it's just one of the things that happened.
Mm-hmm. So how long did she live at the house in Bell Ridge?
Couple of years probably before we separated.
Because I noticed you were doing some construction on the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were doing some construction on the house.
Yeah.
So were you rehabbing it after she moved out, or how'd that?
Rebuilding it, it had a faulty wiring in the basement and had a sizable fire.
How did you lose a lot of stuff in the fire?
Yeah.
You did. What year was the fire?
91, 92.
Okay.
Let's see, Doc died early part of 93. Might have been the early 92 I had the fire.
And that was because of the wiring?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Was it a total loss?
The inside was pretty well gutted.
Like all your personal belongings and all that?
Huh?
All your personal belongings?
The big majority of them. I mean, I had salvaged a lot of stuff and put it in storage while the house was being rebuilt.
Hmm.
Would you have had a storage? Would you have had a storage that you might have kept her in for a while? Did you have a storage room back then?
No.
Excuse me.
Like I said, this was what, early 91, late 90s?
All of them went missing in 1990, and then
Okay.
Sharon wasn't found until February 91.
Yeah, see, that was
So,
more than a year before I had trouble at the house with the fire.
okay.
So I wouldn't have had any storage.
Oh, you went ahead and storage shed then?
Mm-hmm.
That was after the fire.
So you thought maybe this was a crate. You don't recall what you would have...
Yeah, the outside of it looks like it could have been a crate, but the inside was looks like a piece of furniture.
Mm-hmm. You don't remember what came in that crate? Or where you got it from?
No.
or what this stuff is? Because this is all like white paper and there's some duct tape.
Maybe like a drop cloth for painting.
Okay. Do you remember anything inside that dresser with Sandra?
Anything inside the dresser?
Yeah, did you put anything in there?
No.
Because obviously if she's sitting around for a while, it's going to start to smell.
Yeah.
Anything to cover up the smell?
No. Boy, I wish I could remember more right now. Mainly to help me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what I can recall and remember right now is I'm good for it, but I don't remember all the details of what was going on mentally or physically at the time. It'd be easy to say I did drugs and I don't remember all this, but I might have smoked a little pot, but I was never into the drug culture. No.
What about alcohol?
I used to enjoy going out even when I was married or single and going into a nightclub or a restaurant or a bar and drinking seltzer with a lime twist. I mean, I didn't have to drink alcohol to feel good. I did enough of that in college. Acquired a taste for scotch.
Oh, that was my choice before I quit.
Chivas
Glenlivet, I mean,
or Glenfiddich.
Mm.
Yeah.
we
But-
do have another one that we'd like to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The third one we talked about a little bit.
Why do you keep coming and coming?
Well, we told you there's three, so this is Brenda Pruitt. Same thing. What's the year of that? 1994, 9, and 90.
Well, she looked like a rough one. Shouldn't say that. You look like somebody who definitely would work the streets.
Mm-hmm.
This one looked like she had more class. I mean, she took care of herself.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, mugshots don't always do a person justice.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's at the lowest point.
Mm-hmm.
Pruitt.
So
I knew a Pruitt. But he worked for the Shriners at Muehlberg Temple on the night crew. I don't think they were related.
do you remember what his first name was?
Hmm?
Do you remember what his first name was?
Boy, I sure don't. I sure don't.
Okay, so she was found in Maryland Heights.
That's,
I know.
we tried to turn it off. It'll go away. There you go.
Was it a phone?
It's a phone. It's
Phone
a
over
phone.
there
We
in
tried
the
to
corner.
turn it off earlier and it didn't
Unplug
work.
it.
But they say if you unplug it, it sets off an alarm.
Gee, there for a second I forgot where I was. Yeah, yeah, you're right. In Maryland Heights.
Yeah, so you said you worked at the Shriners. That's also in Maryland Heights, is that right?
Yeah, the new Muehlberg Temple moved from, what was that, Lindell,
Yeah.
out to the old Parkway Junior High School. They bought it and remodeled it.
So So you're kind of familiar with Maryland Heights then?
Yeah, Chuck, my old boss, the one that I got involved with Doc and all this, lived in Maryland Heights.
How long did you know Chuck?
See, I was still married. We just bought the home in Bell Ridge. I met Chuck within months of moving into the house, looking for employment.
And where'd
He
you meet?
owned a construction company. We did a lot of remodeling of rent-a-center stores.
So how did you meet him?
I can't remember who introduced us or where I met him. I don't know if I answered an ad in the paper or went out and bid on a job. Or maybe, I don't really remember how or where or who introduced us. It was, the name of his company slips my mind right now.
So you bought the house in Bell Ridge.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Oh, late 80s,
Okay.
87, 88, 89, somewhere around there.
Okay. So shortly after you bought the house, you said you met
Met Chuck.
Chuck.
Yeah.
So Brenda, does she look familiar to you?
None of them that I couldn't pick out of a lineup. I mean,
Okay.
no.
So same kind of thing, alongside a highway. In a container.
Okay.
The same year. Do you know where you might have taken her in Maryland Heights?
Off the highway somewhere. I mean, it wasn't directly on the highway. I think this one was like on the shoulder of Interstate 70.
You're talking about Sandra Little, correct? Is that Sandra Little?
Yeah, that's Sandra.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm. But you don't remember what was around that area?
Malls, stores, car lots, car dealerships.
Or
That
what?
would have been on the outer road, not right on the highway.
Oh, that the businesses would have been on the outer road, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember near what exit?
Oh, I sure don't. I sure don't.
And were you by yourself on that one?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I would have remembered if I had an accomplice, and I don't think I did. I'm almost sure I did.
Hypothetically, if you did, who would you have been close enough to that would do this to assist you in any way?
Boy, that's a toughie. Sitting here now, and prior to, I didn't think I was what's the word, capable of doing this. I can't think of any of the people that I had as friends or associates or work with that be involved doing this.
Would you have told anybody about this?
No. This ain't anything that I would brag about.
You know, there's always conversations going in where you're at right now. Anybody in here that you talked to that you would have told that you're good for these?
No.
Did you tell anybody about our visit last time?
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause just like now, well, last time, let's see, they called me out and the officer escorted me over here directly.
Mm-hmm.
This morning, they paged me. I went out and they said, Officer Hale said, you went into custody complex. I said, okay, so I went back and got dressed.
Mm. I see your spit-shining boots.
Yeah. Some things you,
It's just hard to, I wish I had done that.
Wow.
and believe it or not, that's liquid polish. They do have 2 inmates that have regular shoe polish for doing the officers.
Ah, that's liquid?
Yeah. And now they don't sell it in the canteen because of shortages and stuff. That I try to take care of them, but there's no more polish.
They're looking good.
And I sure ain't gonna buy the paste wax because that's get a whole bunch of trouble for that.
I bet.
And like you know from the Corps, first thing you do when you open kiwis, you light it, so you rub it in.
A lot of spit in it.
And it's a security risk in a place like this, similar to napalm.
Yeah. So true.
Yep. Anyway.
So
no,
would you share who you told that we came to visit you last time?
I think maybe my cellie, and it wasn't nothing in detail because they asked. Because they know some of my family's not doing real good, and I've had phone calls before down here. But I just told us, yeah, they're trying to tie me into something that happened, a cold case file, but nothing even close to being detailed about it.
Right.
Yeah. There's nothing that I would brag about.
Did your cellmate give you any advice?
Hmm?
Did your cellmate give you any advice if we decide to come back?
So they told me who he was, and I guess he was on a TV show. Did you know your cellmate was on a TV show?
There's been a couple of them in the past, yeah. Like I just think, you read my mind. You all know the name Charlie Armitrott.
Yeah. Well, I watched the show because I was
Yeah.
curious. I watched the show he was on.
Yeah, and after a while you learn not to judge people down here. You just accept them for who they are at that moment. But when
Okay.
you think about their crimes, like there's people in my wing that Emery Futo,
I don't know that one.
he killed his mother and father and 2 brothers in South St. Louis. Armitrott.
So like Armitrott said he went to some like I guess Armitrott said he went to some like counseling they have here at the prison or something.
Yeah.
And he said
I think he killed his grandmother
yeah.
with a baseball bat.
All right.
Yes.
Because there was an old joke before I got down here. They were out there playing softball and something about somebody yelled at him that, hey Trout, you know how to use a baseball bat properly? And when I heard it, I didn't realize what they were talking about. I was like, whoa, okay.
That was low.
Yeah, all over drugs, or so he says, or whatever.
She wouldn't give him money, right?
Hmm?
She wouldn't give him money for drugs? I think
That's what the TV show led
Yeah.
led to
Yeah.
believe.
This ain't gonna be on TV, is it?
I have no idea.
Not that, well, I don't do TV.
Yeah, I don't either. I hide from cameras.
I do too.
Hmm?
I hide from cameras. I'm not the type of person that you want.
Yeah, I don't. I watch some crime drama like NCIS and stuff like that, but as far as cold case files and all that, no.
You have no interest in that, huh?
It's not my ball of wax or cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can't get more information on this, the one that was in Maryland Heights.
This
This
one.
one.
Boy, I wish I could.
Do you remember what you put her in?
You read my mind. Just going to ask you how she was found.
It was a trash can.
Okay. I'm thinking a plastic trash can.
Okay. What else do you remember?
Not that much.
She have clothes on?
That I don't remember right now. I can't recall if she was closed or not, or partially closed.
Did you secure the trash can at all?
Hmm?
Did you secure the trash can at all?
Secured how?
Did you, so she wouldn't fall out?
I would imagine as long as the trash can stayed upright, she wouldn't fall out. I don't remember securing it though.
Do you remember where you took her? Where you dropped her off?
I'm thinking it was somewhere off of Page and 270. Some what was it, an apartment complex.
What time of day was that?
Probably at night.
Okay. Do you remember what vehicle you used?
Probably the van. No, probably was a van. Cause I know I didn't have the pickup truck then.
Okay.
'Cause I don't think I got the pickup truck till well after my house had that fire. Yeah, it was
Do
a
you-
van.
Do you remember how long you kept her?
Not long. I don't remember keeping any of them more than a day or two.
Okay. You don't remember where you would have kept them, maybe not at the house at East Edgar, but you might have kept them somewhere else?
No, you mean double moving? No.
Yeah, because she was, like we said, she was pretty decomposed before she was found on the highway. So she evidently had to be somewhere.
And when you talk about time to decompose, you're looking at a week, a month, 6 months. I don't.
Yeah, more like months.
A month.
Or more than. Obviously, she went missing in 1990 and was found in February 91. So.
No, I sure don't.
And same for her. She wasn't as bad as Sandra, but She
I'm
evidently.
almost sure they were all taken from my house and left somewhere within a day of their demise.
Any idea where that would have been?
Hmm?
Any idea where that would have been?
Where? What would have been?
After you had them for a day in your house and after their demise, where would they have gone? Because these were relatively found right after the morning of.
Yeah, I can't. They had to be left at my house because I didn't have a storage locker or anything. Maybe they were left outside the house somewhere.
Did you have a big backyard at that house?
No.
No.
At one time before we bought the house, it was, but the interbelt went through. It wasn't that big of a backyard.
Now you had a dog. Is that right?
I've fed dogs all my life. Yeah.
What kind of dog did you have during that time? In the 1990.
Let's see. When I first got married, Karen had pure white. I think it had some wolf and shepherd in it. And Dap passed away, and we got a German shepherd.
What was that dog's name?
Duke? Dap. No, Dap was the white dog. Oh boy. I don't remember offhand. Chief.
Chief.
Yeah, I'm almost sure it was Chief.
And you said that's when you were married to Karen, you had Chief?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who got the dog in the divorce?
I did.
Okay.
She got the cat, and I got the dog.
Lucky you, I'd take the German Shepherd too.
Hmm?
I would take the German Shepherd too.
I don't hate cats, but I don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
Me neither.
I mean,
So how long did Chief live with you?
till I had to put him down after the problem with the house burning, because my mom kept him while the house was being rebuilt. I'm thinking he wasn't feeling real well, and I took him to a vet down in Kirkwood, and he had a sizable tumor that wasn't no hope for, so he was euthanized.
Shortly after the fire?
Hmm?
Shortly after the fire?
Oh, I'd say probably within 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
And then when the house was over half rebuilt, I got a Siberian Husky. Some kind of Husky. I think it's Siberian. Got him through a friend who was a police officer.
What was his name?
Hmm?
What was that dog's name?
Nemo?
Okay. Is that the one that Doc was supposed to... Or, did you have a friend come over and let the dog out or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Ron something
Yeah.
or other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
But you had the shepherd during these period of times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking if they were out in the backyard, that dog wouldn't leave them alone, probably.
The house, the front yard and backyard were fenced in, but not completely closed off. So anytime the dogs went out, they were on a leash with a collar.
So they wouldn't have
Yeah.
sniffed out.
The front yard was mainly fenced off, except for part of a section on one side where if the family was out, the dog would stay around, but as far as letting him out by himself, no, I had to chase him one time. And he caught himself, ran into a neighbor's yard that had a fence. He went in the gate. Oh, okay, close the gate. Yeah.
Makes him easier to corral.
Yeah. Most dogs, Superman would play hell with chasing. They can run.
Yeah.
So do you remember, I know you said you can't really remember why or how you took their life, but that goes for Miranda?
How did she die?
Same as Robin.
Strangled? Damn. Definitely some bad memories coming up.
Are you reliving that?
Hmm?
Are you reliving it?
Trying to, but bits and pieces.
What are the bits and pieces you're remembering about Brenda?
I mean, I don't recall where I met her or how.
Okay. How about after taking her life?
Just off of Page Avenue, off of 270. Some kind of apartment complex.
Do you remember putting her in the trash can?
Hmm?
Do you remember putting her in the trash can?
Yeah.
Do you remember if she had any clothes on?
I can't recall if she was fully clothed or partially clothed. That detail I don't.
And I don't know if we talked about it with Robin, but I know we said a little bit whether she had clothes on or not. Do you remember any of your clothes being in there?
Mm-mm.
Or you used your clothes for any reason?
Nah. If I had any of my clothes in there, then it must have been subconsciously asking for help or something, or to be caught.
Well, back then, that's probably the last thing on your mind was DNA, you know?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at this day and age, that's how it's all coming about.
Yeah, I don't remember any clothes of mine with any of them. I'm not saying it wasn't, but I don't remember it.
Okay. There was a stocking cap that was in with Sandra. Do you remember? It had a business name on it. Do you remember any stocking caps you had back then or any companies you worked for?
No, because I was never really into hats. Still not.
Not in the wintertime?
No. I always had a full head of hair, and maybe working outdoors in construction, some kind of hat, but I don't remember.
Anything you would have kept in that dresser?
Clothes, but if the drawer bottoms and everything were missing, would have been anything in there to hold them.
Mm-hmm.
Was there clothes in there?
It was a stocking cap.
Yeah, I don't. That's strange that I would have put anything in there.
Where did you work before you got into construction?
Oh, let's see. When we first got married, I worked for Clayton Courier. making bank runs out of St. Louis all the way down to Ironton and in places around in St. Louis. When I first came back from grad school, I taught school for a while, had a tractor trailer,
Where'd you teach school?
Hubert Wheeler and State School 70 in Kirkwood. Hubert Wheeler's on Hampton and 44. He has like 3 or 4 square pods for gifted kids, gifted people, severely handicapped.
Did you like that job?
Yeah. Yeah.
What made you stop working there?
A friend and I bought a tractor trailer, or the tractor, not the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
We leased out to some company over in Illinois. Can't remember the name of it. They owned all the trailers, and independent truckers delivered and used their trailers.
And then where'd you work after that?
Mainly, let's see, when we lived on California, it was for Clayton Courier. And I know at one point when we lived on Humphreys, I worked for myself, minor construction rehab, contracted out a lot of jobs. Yeah, a bunch of guys had a investment company that they were slumlords. A lot of Section 8 housing. You know, we moved up north, and I went to work for Chuck. On and on. And I worked for Hussman Refrigeration. I was married then, still. What's the old saying, a jack of all trades, a master of none?
Did you ever work for an insurance company?
No. An insurance company? No. That's like too confining an office job. I like the freedom of working outdoors, or not the same isolated area every day of the week.
Did you know anybody that worked for an insurance company?
Probably. Maybe my ex-wife's cousin. Let's see. I think Robert worked for an insurance company.
Do you remember what it was called?
Do
you remember what it was called?
No. No, I sure don't.
And that was Karen's cousin,
Yeah.
Robert.
Yeah.
Were you good friends with him?
Hmm?
Were you good friends with him?
Just family. They weren't, they were gay. Robert and Jean. I accepted them only as people that had a choice to live their own life, but didn't really socialize a lot with them as a couple. More like family gatherings.
Did you ever have them over at the house? Or did your wife ever have them over?
I'm sure they came over, or we go over to their house. Do they enter into this?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Talking of things, trying to loosen me up more and get my mind working.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. it's not bringing any more detail to any of this.
No. Sometimes things come to you just by talking it out,
yeah.
you know.
Instant recall, things you never expect.
Now, you had said that if she was in a trash can, if it was sitting upright, that it wouldn't fall over or anything like that. But if you put her in a van and she has a tendency to fall over, would there have been any kind of a lid you put on that, or?
I'm sure there was a lid. If it was a trash can. Yeah, there's undoubtedly a lid to it.
Did you ever have anybody over at the house, like you were worried about them finding out about any of this?
Mm-mm. That's why the one that you said was badly decomposed.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember having her at my house that long. That's why I thought mainly a day or two. Yeah.
So in the last 5 weeks that you said you've been thinking about these, you know, anything else come to mind that we haven't asked you about?
Mm-mm. No, ma'am. No.
Is it safe to say that we've presented three cases? Is there a possibility there's more?
No.
You know, because when this comes to light, there's going to be people probably calling me wanting to know.
Yeah, they're 10 minutes of fame getting involved and stuff if they had any. You know.
Or they want to clear their case.
Yeah.
And they're going to ask, you know, for your DNA to compare to their DNA. So if there is anything that we can clear up for you to avoid
No.
more visitors.
No, I can't.
Excuse me.
You need anything?
Hmm?
You need anything?
No.
You still good
No.
on water?
Hmm?
You still good on water
Oh,
there?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
Something tells me that when I get back in population, in the privacy of my cell,
Mm-hmm.
I should take notes or start jogging things down, which might help
Mm-hmm.
remember some more details of all this. But
Can I give you my business card? Can I give you my business card?
you can. You did last time, but I didn't take it.
Okay.
I'll take it this time.
Because my email address and my phone number and everything's on there, so.
And now that we have our iPads, we can make phone calls anywhere in the housing unit. We don't have.
Really? So
Right
from
now-
your cell, you can make a phone call?
Oh yeah, we can sit out in the wing.
So like any time of the night?
No, they shut the phones off at count time between 10 and I think 7 in the morning. They're shut off,
Okay.
and also during count times where they lock us down for lunchtime at like 11:15. They come around and count everybody at 11. Count clears. We're out by 11:30, 11:20. Sometimes count don't clear, but majority of the daytime, yeah, we can take the iPads anywhere in the camp except for medical. Take them out to the yard. There are people who have like very many songs on their iPads. I mean,
Really?
like 3,000 and 4,000 songs. Yeah.
How do they get the songs?
Through the company, Securus.
Do they have to pay for that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It varies from $1.50 for a single to
Okay.
$5 or $6 for an album. Now, the only mail we get is legal mail, magazines, and newspapers, who cannot keep any envelopes. If I get legal mail, it's always open in front of a caseworker to check it for contraband.
Okay.
They keep the envelopes. When I get letters or cards, they all get sent to Florida. They get scanned and put on the tablet. Cuts down on contraband.
Oh.
We just had
So you don't get to keep it in your cell, like a picture of somebody or a card from somebody?
we used to. They haven't done anything. I think it's grandfathered in because we have photo albums and pictures. But now everything's on a tablet.
Interesting.
We've had a whole bunch of fentanyl overdoses.
That's what the investigator was saying. Or how it's getting in. I guess there's ways.
Well, you're kind of intelligent. Stop and think. It is like
All kinds of different ways.
right off the bat, people think, oh, they're coming in with visits through inmates. It could be an unexpected delivery driver bringing canteen items down from a warehouse that somebody put a stash in. It could be staff.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Guards.
They have caught staff members bringing certain things in the past, like when tobacco was taboo.
Yeah.
They bring in a pack of cigarettes or something. You know, there's
What would the guards get in exchange for that? Why would they do that?
Wouldn't hurt them.
probably money.
The protection?
Yeah, probably. Stop and think again. When this camp first opened up, it was in rural Missouri. Unemployment was really high. Prison guards don't make a lot of money.
Correct.
And go to somebody and offer them $1,000 to take in a matchbook of something. People are greedy.
Yeah.
You know, what would you all do if you didn't have a job, no income, and had a family to feed? Would you take some illegal money? Would you transport something,
If I was desperate enough.
thinking it might be a one-time deal, hoping it's a one-time deal, and find out you got hooked because everything's on film? And then they blackmail you. Now is it worth going to prison over?
Right. No.
But you don't, case in point, don't always look down the road at the end product.
Let me ask you a question. Back when these all happened, there was a whole lot of press. I mean, it was in every newspaper. Did you follow any of those? Do you recall? Did you keep any
I probably
articles?
read articles in a newspaper, but I didn't go out of my way searching for it. It's like, I subscribed to the Post paper, even down here for a long time, but it wasn't getting a paper or looking at a paper for a specific item, unless it was coupons.
Would this have been something you would have cut out any articles on to kind of keep track of where the
A
cops are?
scrapbook? No.
Not a scrapbook, but just kind of find out the progress of the police,
No.
so they wouldn't be come knocking on your door.
Were you worried about that?
Oh, I'm sure subconsciously in the back of my mind there's always thoughts of getting caught.
Did you do things differently to avoid getting caught?
Change my routine? No. No.
Or
It's not like people go out and rob a bank and then go out and buy a brand new Cadillac and drive around town. No.
you didn't change anything.
No, my habits, my lifestyle, on the most part, was all the same. I mean,
So you never thought one day the police are going to come
oh, I'm
knocking
sure
on my door,
I'm
want
sure.
to talk to me?
there was that thought in the mind and said, maybe they won't.
You know, these all happen relatively in a close time frame, and all of a sudden they stopped. Could that have been because you came to prison in '93?
No, I didn't get arrested on this charge until early '93. When did they stop?
Well, the last one that we know of, the body was found in '91.
February 91.
Yeah. I don't know.
If you were to think back, prior to anything happening, why would all of a sudden, because you said you picked up quite a few young ladies from down
Well,
there.
not as far as picking up to go out and
I don't
paying, yeah, but dating around. I mean, it's going through my mind for many years of what transpired to kick off this behavior,
That's basically,
and likewise, what happened to stop it.
correct.
It wasn't going to prison. Because if this was like '91, that's 2 years before I got this case with Doc. Yeah. I mean, what opened the faucet? What shut the faucet?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
Right now, for my own sake, I hope I can come up with some kind of answer. But and if like I said, if I've dated for different reasons, relationships, friendships, camaraderie, why would I revert to picking up a prostitute for a one-night stand? I mean, you pick them up, pay them, go about your business. What caused these three not to continue on with their life?
Did you ever pick up a prostitute and have any trouble over payment, where either you didn't pay them or you took the money back when they weren't looking?
No.
Because that happens a lot. Actually, this is probably the third case similar to this that I've worked, and that seems to be a lot of the reason that somebody would actually take their money back from them, and then the fight would start.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been poor. I've never been extremely wealthy. I've always had money. And back then, man, $30, $35, which wasn't a lot of money.
Right. Do you recall of, and again, it's been a long time ago, do you recall if any of these young ladies put up a big fight where you might have gotten hurt, or you might have gotten scratched, or you might have, they picked up something to try to hit you, or?
Something to provoke
Right.
this?
Mm-hmm.
No. Might be easier on me if I did.
Right.
You
And
know,
it might come back. You think?
anything's possible,
Yeah.
but I can't.
You know, when I remember things, it's in the middle of the night. I wake up
Excuse me a
at
second.
3 o'clock in the morning and remember
Yeah,
things.
Now what now?
I said, things come to me in the middle of the night. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. Or something clicks.
Wait till you get older. You probably
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
3
Yeah.
o'clock, if I sleep till 3 o'clock, it's a long night. And I go to bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Oh, there's things here that
It doesn't get any better either.
no. It's like sitting there watching TV and going to fix a cup of coffee, put your stinger in the cup, and walk out of the cell. And you remember the stingers in the cup when you smell the plastic burning.
Your stinger is what heats it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is that
An
something,
immersible heater.
is that something they sell here? I
Yeah.
mean, that's something you're allowed to have?
Oh yeah. At one time we had crock pots. I still got mine. They're grandfathered in. You'd be surprised what some of the conveniences we were allowed.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I've seen, they had a show on TV where people in your situation would make a whole meal just out of what they got out of the,
Oh, yeah.
using your crock pot and the pizzas they make. And
I know y'all probably won't do it, but have them take you on a tour of the place, like at the canteen, the items we can buy.
I would be
If
fascinated.
there's not a supply crisis, but saltine crackers, snack crackers, potted meats, salami, sausages, pizzas, soda, soups.
and you're allowed to heat that up?
Oh yeah, we got microwaves in 5 and 6 houses. We have microwaves in the wing.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that.
But you can only use them at certain times, right?
Hmm?
Are you allowed to use it any time of the day, or?
Yeah, 5 house is the honor house, and unless there's a reason to be locked down, we can go in and out of our cells into the wing. Got jobs. I don't. I'm disabled, they say, but it's a different lifestyle. But we don't do without everything, you know. Soda, all kinds of soda, all kind of food.
So how do you get your money? Does somebody help you out? If you don't have a job here,
Family.
family helps you out.
Yeah, yeah. I
Have you-
get.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Have you talked to any of your family about any of this, that we came to visit you?
No, this is no. This is nothing to brag about, talk about. This is something for me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that you try to suppress this kind of stuff. That pretend it never happened,
Yeah.
accepting it as it did, but no, it's nothing I talk about in here.
And this is something you accept that happened, right?
Yeah, I guess it's called a reality check. Even with Doc, the case I'm here on, people don't talk a lot about why they're here. There's an old saying, everybody in prison have one or two things in common. We either pled guilty or got found guilty. After that, we're all different individuals. You know.
And even in the counseling thing, like Armitrot went to. I mean, is that kind of?
I did for a period. There was different mental health classes
Okay.
on dealing with incarceration, with stress, loss of family, things like that. But nothing that would openly talk about this.
Well, I understand I was just watching the TV show that Armitrot was in, and he led to believe that it was one of these counseling sessions where he finally admitted to what he did. So I didn't know if you had that type of thing here where
Oh yeah, there's
you
training.
can talk about why you're in here type thing.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm the type of individual is why talk about it when I know why I'm here. I mean, some of the things at my trial I don't totally agree with, but I got convicted of it, and I was involved in it to a certain degree.
What do you mean by that?
Hmm?
What do you mean by that? If you don't mind me asking. You were involved
Well,
in...
you said you read the case with Doc.
Yes.
Do not answer this. This ain't a question, but in
Okay.
your mind, was there any degree of doubt? Because where the murder weapon was found, where Doc's car was found, with my alibi where I was when Doc was killed, there was no 100% evidence that I pulled the trigger of any pistol. I may have had knowledge prior to and after, and I'm not saying I did or didn't,
Right, right.
but there was no smoking gun. The man was found in my house. That doesn't mean I killed him.
Did you take the stand on that?
Couldn't. I wanted to, but my attorney advised against it for a bunch of reasons.
Do you have a lot of priors to?
Yeah, I'd done time in Kansas.
Okay.
And like, you know, sometimes one little thing on, it's kind of like on, and I experienced this, and I've seen and heard it on other cases, either the defense or prosecutor says something at trial. The other side objects and the judge tells the jury disregard it. To me, that's like, yeah, that's chiseled in concrete now. You're not
Now
going to forget
you
it.
really concentrate on it.
Yeah, why don't they want this to be known? It's already said, you can't take it back.
Right.
There were things at the trial the jury wanted to see. See, how can I explain this? If you read a book of an incident, you see a movie based on the incident, or you actually see it, there's 3 different stories, versions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't there when the Titanic sank. I've read books, I've seen movies. That doesn't make it all true. The jury in the case with Doc wanted to actually hold and see certain bits of evidence. They were denied. So they based their findings, opinions on other things than fact. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really getting off the beaten path, isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but here we are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about you all, but I ain't going nowhere. Or rather, I ain't going outside the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what else can you tell us about these cases that we can go back and let these folks know?
Right now, it's like, I pretty much divulged what I can recall right now. So other things might come to mind in time. I think I gave up quite a bit, though. I mean, y'all knew I did it from the evidence. Now you're convinced.
Well, I mean, we can't deny the physical evidence. We
Yeah.
knew that even before we came and talked to you, but
And there's always, I mean, I'm not doing it, but there's always a chance if this was to go to trial because of technicalities, due process, you know, I'm not me, but I'm sure there may be 1 or 2 innocent people in prison, just like there's guilty people still on the street, you know. There's people like Armitrot. He originally, I believe, got the death penalty through technicalities or something, it got overturned and you got life without. There's other cases in here. This is really off the beaten path, but years ago there were two brothers, they were twins, and they called them a twin. I worked as a cook with one of them, and they had so much family brotherly love, the actual perpetrator of the murder would not confess. They both took the fall. They both got life without. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
One knew nothing about it. The other one did the crime. But they stuck together because they didn't want to tell on each other. It may not make sense to y'all, but people cover things up for various reasons. An accomplice doesn't necessarily mean they were actually there at the time of the crime. Prior knowledge, an associate.
Sure.
You know, I can go walk the track with somebody and I have absolutely no drugs or contraband on me. The other person does. We can get busted, I get just as much time. You know, not saying it is or isn't, but with Doc, the man was found in my house. At the least, I was an accomplice. You know. We had one member of the jury, months after I was convicted, Bob Adler talked to some of the juries, and there's one lady, and it is not really an appealable point, but she admitted that she had some doubt, whether it's reasonable or not, in her mind, and was torn in the jury chambers. She would rather send an innocent man to prison than a guilty man on the street. Here I sit. I accept it. I can't change. I can't fault her for why she thought or her decision making. That's an individual. You can't appeal somebody's thought. Facts, misrepresentation, due process, yeah. Just like me saying about some of the things in that case and in this, doesn't make it true, or doesn't make it false. A lot of things are true. There were things in my case that I'm here on that I'll take to my grave.
Is there anything that we touched on that's not true? I mean, I know you can't remember a lot of stuff.
Yes, it's helping to recall some of the stuff with you mentioning different things, but
you're not making anything up as to what you remember to this point.
Oh, you mean all this is real? Don't patronize me. Yeah. Don't patronize or pacify. The facts are the facts. I mean, just because I do not remember every little infinite detail doesn't mean I'm innocent or guilty. I mean, I remember enough of it that I'm good for it. And I'm sure you all taking my word on it. Kind of obvious. I'm talking to y'all. It's like some of these people, when they'll know rumors, scuttlebutt, something going on. You know, why'd you talk to him? It's like, why the hell are you worried about what I do with my time and my life?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I'm surprised they would even ask you. You know, if they don't ask you what you're in here for, that they would even care.
They do ask. Some don't ask. Some through newspapers, TVs, like Armitrout. Mm-hmm. Jeff Ferguson was on TV.
That was my case. I interviewed him. Jeff Ferguson.
Yeah. He's here?
No, he's executed.
Yeah, I was in a county jail when he came back for a retrial, and if I remember right, he got a reversal on the wrong usage of a word "or."
That's true.
The jury instruction,
There was error in jury instructions.
I'm not sure which way it should have been, but instead of "or," "r,"
Yeah.
it was "are." So he got a reversal and went back.
Wow.
And I think his second trial, the jury was out 45 minutes.
They were out less the second time than they were the first time.
Yeah.
Because I testified at both trials.
Yeah, because all the facts were there.
Actually, I went to his execution.
Hmm.
I met his daughters, and they were babies. They were babies when this happened.
Yep.
And I met his daughter. Actually, they did a TV program, What You See.
Mm-hmm.
It was God on Death Row in Potosi. Is that what it was? They did a TV program, and the
Yeah.
lady who did that interviewed me at length, and they never used it because I wouldn't agree that, to a lot of different things. I said, you're not putting words in my mouth. This is what happened. You want the facts, then put me on TV. If you don't want the facts, leave me out. They left me out. But
Yeah, like what's going on nowadays with politics.
oh my gosh, yes. Oh my. Do you have to follow? I mean, I watch news
Yeah.
24/7. Do you follow that? I mean, are you allowed to do that?
What's that?
Watch TV?
Oh yeah, we got our own little TVs, 13-inch, flat screen.
That's got to drive you crazy watching politics.
And there's no easy solution to what's going on in the world right now. Did Nancy Pelosi do the right thing or the wrong thing? That's a personal feeling.
Yeah.
Is Biden a weak president or a strong president? Man ain't got a backbone. And once you slip like that, back in Afghanistan, it all started. For me, the way I see it, an honorable withdrawal.
There's no such thing.
He tucked his tail and ran.
I can't get into a lot of that. But I don't disagree with that.
And now I hear tell last night that AOC is going to run for president. Oh, good Lord, this country's shot to hell. Nothing against the feminine side of society. But AOC, how does she even get elected? And yeah, anyway, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could be here for days talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So I guess we have to do a game plan.
You have to do what?
We're going to go back with this information, give it to our prosecutors, and we're not sure what's going to happen from there. I mean, you've got the letters, that's a definite. And again, my boss talked to the director of the Department of Corrections and the warden here.
Yeah.
And your situation is going to remain exactly the same.
Yeah.
Um,
Because this is the maximum secure. I mean, the other level 5 camps, but they know me here.
yeah.
I know them.
Right. And they know you don't cause any problems here. I think that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
Except for them damn jelly
How you are
beans.
here. Huh?
Except for them damn
Jelly beans.
Yeah.
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 So are you able to, have you emailed people with your iPad? Is it fairly easy to do?
I don't use my iPad for that. It's like I check the email every day for things that administration put on it.
Mm-hmm.
But and a telephone is more convenient, more private in a cell. But I have no songs, no pictures, no games, no nothing on my tablet. Because the money I get is to support me, not somebody else. And
So if you wanted to reach out to me, a phone call would be the best instead of email?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will your phone accept it? A lot of times mine won't. I have to, well, I take that back. I got somebody calling me now that I just have to.
So the voicemail will pick up?
Yes, yes.
I don't have to be there to answer it?
No, you have to be, it has to be live. If he calls you, it has to be, because you
Right.
gotta accept the call.
Right,
Yeah.
so
It won't go,
my voicemail won't pick up.
all it'll pick up is just a phone call from an institution.
Right, and
That's it.
I know calling family, sometimes a phone call won't go through because third-party calls, and I pay for the phone call down here. I mean, it's a nickel a minute, but there's no collect. I don't make collect calls, you know.
But you could always write a letter, right, and mail it to me?
Yep.
Okay.
And I don't think it would be legal mail, so the mailroom would read it, which is no big thing. And yeah. Weber.
So I obviously work daytime hours.
Yeah.
I won't be in town next week, but other than that, I should be there.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
You think anything else?
not offhand. But obviously, if you think of something, I mean, because like I said, they're going to ask us as soon as we get back how much information we have, so.
A confession? What more do they? I mean,
We're just looking for, specifics on what you remember and how their lives were taken and what happened after their lives were taken.
I'm sure I'll think of other things, or you'll have more questions. But isn't this enough to close the case, basically?
For me, I mean, obviously with all the physical evidence and then what we've talked about here today,
Yeah.
yes.
Now, is this going to aid? Which one had the son?
She has a
Is
son.
this going to help him get closure?
I hope.
Yeah, so do I.
I hope. Is there anything you would like me to tell him?
Yeah, a whole bunch, but I don't know if he'd want to hear it. It's not going to, putting myself in his shoes for a moment. There's nothing said or done now or in the future that'll bring his mother back. Not a thing.
Right.
Maybe knowing his mother's murderer been caught and is paying the price. Hopefully it'll help him.
What about remorse?
Yeah. But I mean, as far as he's concerned, I don't know if any of this is really going to give him closure. I mean, no matter what, his mother is deceased. I'm very sorry for what happened. That's what I was saying earlier. Not to share it, well, I probably would, but I would like to step outside the arena for a second and come to a tight-ass alibi or excuse or reason. What prompted me to do this? Where was my mindset at the time? I'd like to get closure on it.
Looking back at, what these ladies did for a living, I mean, did you think of them differently because of what they did?
I don't think so. Now, because I had, just like Karen's cousin, I mean, Robert and Jean lived together. I didn't condemn or condone them. That's what they did behind closed doors is their own business. I'm not to judge them. Apparently, they supplied a need that I momentarily needed, and so do a lot of other people. A prostitute, a high-class hooker, an escort. I just hope someday I can figure out why. There'll be a lot of soul searching. There has been over the last 30 some odd years.
I bet.
Yeah.
Did you think about these at all over the last 30 years?
What do you think?
Yes.
I'm not a complete animal. I have a conscience.
So you thought about
I
them.
have remorse. I have guilt. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all if I didn't.
Mhm.
You'd be like
Mhm.
clamming up.
Mhm.
What good would it do?
Mhm.
Go to a trial and have all this brought up and refreshed in a lot of people's minds? Yeah. The people directly involved, it's over. I'm owning up to it. Her son can have some kind of peace of mind knowing the perpetrator's still ain't out there.
That's a big thing.
Mhm.
That's a big thing.
As far as the why, where, the reason behind it, like I said, I'm not sure right now. I can't clarify in my own mind what prompted me to do this. On the surface, there's a lot of reasons a person could come with this kind of behavior. But why did it start when it did, and why did it end when it did? It didn't go on for a long period of time, apparently. Thinking back where my mind was, mentally and physically at this time period, I can't honestly say I know where I was. Something set something off. Thank God it didn't last very long. For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
It means a lot.
No, I don't. Sorry don't make it right.
I didn't say it made it right, but it means something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate you saying that.
Mhm.
I appreciate you saying that. Those are the words I wanted to hear. And not the total opposite, you know, like you said. You know, just, you're not the monster.
And I hope this don't sound wrong, but maybe I can do some easier time now. It's over.
Mhm.
I don't have to worry about y'all coming down. You've been here twice, you'll be back again.
Yeah, but you cleared the air.
Yeah.
You know?
Got a load off my chest. Gee, now I can go back and think of what I'm going to have for supper tonight.
Chicken patty?
No, what is,
Thursday night?
nah, I think something like a chef's salad, a lettuce salad.
Is it the same thing every week? Like the same day? The week,
Okay,
the
they
same
change by the season. We're in the spring mode right now, and it's a repetition menu every 6 weeks. Lettuce salad, right now we're having twice a week. And we'll go a week or two, but it always recycles. Like, you know what day of the week you're having pancakes or French toast sticks or chicken patties. But it's not guaranteed because sometimes they run out of things, like on the street. Not going to the canteen. We have to have our order in by 7 o'clock Monday morning. They fill the order and we pick it up on Tuesday. But just because, and a lot of times when they're out of something, you key it in on the kiosk, it'll tell you out of stock for whatever reason. Then you order something else. But there's fundraising items like banquet chicken that's not a reserved item. First come, first serve. Well, I might order it today, but they may fill your order before mine and you get the last box.
Okay.
Now, I planned a meal out of chicken fajitas. ain't got no chicken in it. And there's also reserved items that, for one reason or the other, you might order, but you don't get. Miscount on inventory, whatever, you know. But you can pretty well plan ahead on a lot of things.
Is the food fairly decent for prison?
You mean in mainline, the chow hall? Ain't nobody dying from it.
It's edible.
Yeah, and after a couple of years, your taste buds readjust to stuff. Not supposed to, but you can buy little packs of mayonnaise and ranch dressing in the canteen, and you're not supposed to take it to the chow hall. But somehow a little pack of mayonnaise finds its way up there for chicken patties and other things. Add something to it, you know. Yeah, it's all edible. Not every restaurant's a 5-star restaurant,
For sure.
but you still eat at White Castle, don't you?
Yep.
Okay. All right, Gary, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, a whole bunch, but I think most of it's already been said.
Could you write me a letter? Could you write me a letter?
I'll try. May take a day or two.
Oh, take your time.
Yeah, and
Like I said, I'll be out of town next week, so I won't
Probably-
even get it.
sounds foolish right now, but tell all 3 victims' family that there's remorse. I can't go back and change it. I can only accept what it is. Because I'm sure maybe not siblings or they all had family somewhere at some time. Might help them out.
So if I have other detectives call me, are you open to visitors? Or would you prefer not?
Yeah, I mean, he ain't got nothing to hide anymore. It's on the table.
Okay.
Why would other people are going to be curious? I hope not. This is not a made-for-movie story or book or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there's some investigative reporters that would love to talk to me. I'll refer them to you all.
That'd be good.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Okay.
Because we know how not to talk to people.
Oh, not like me. You can deny a lot and stick with it, but what good does it do? I could lie to you all. I can't lie to myself.
That's what we were counting on.
I might have lied to myself over the past, but fully knowing the truth would come out. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not bragging or boasting or anything along those lines. This is definitely one of the saddest days in my life, but also one of the best. I've lived with for this long. Now I don't have to run inside me anymore from it because the truth is out here.
Mm-hmm.
No more pretending. I don't think, is there?
Not on my end.
Nope.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Gary.
Now, these are mine.
Yep, you're gonna have them.
Oh, I gotta hold these. I don't want these people.
Hold
These
them up.
people, not the staff.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks. Good luck to you, Gary.